Wow, just when you thought it was safe to check out gaming on Twitter after E3, the nightmare just starts to come back again. But before we start, don't forget 4 major words: subscribe, like, support, share. Very important. Thank you for coming aboard here at Man with the Show. I'm your host, Zane. We do appreciate you coming to watch our videos. Those of you who have subscribed, those of you who have liked, those of you who have shared, thank you very much. Thank you. This is very important that we get our message out, that basically young creators, we have the programming. We're not going to be censored. We're not going away. We're doing our best to stay here, stay alive. But we also do need your support. Subscribing, liking, and sharing, very important. If you get these videos out, more people will subscribe on, come aboard with us. It helps us, moves us up the ranks, gets us become more people will be able to see us as time goes on. But also supporting us, very important as well, because basically, if you can, if you can't afford it, it's okay. Subscribe, like, and share are just as important. But if you could throw something at us, there are many ways. Link in the description below or over at bitshoot.com. You could also look at us there. Basically, you can donate to us via PayPal there. Or you could go to our Streamlabs account below, which you'll be able to give a donation there. Or buy one of our products, t-shirt, mugs, any of the products that we have online at teespring.com as well. Because basically, we don't want to be censored. We want to bring you this program day to day. We want to expand out. I want to bring more people into the fold, into this network, and bring you more shows. There are a lot of plans that we have here, a lot of shows, but unfortunately, those shows need backup, need money to do that, and also need staff. I need staff, as much as every other show, every other young creators need staff. There are many young creators out there that basically have been demonetized, and now they can't hire staff. I'm trying to put a major staff together to bring you some great content, to bring you other hosts to shows, to bring you more guests in. I need somebody here that basically can help book guests for the American Asylum show. That's why, we're coming to the fall, because basically we're spending a lot of time trying to get guests in here, try to get them, some people we know, some people we don't know, and get them here so we can talk with them, have a very civil discussion. And that's important, to get 2 sides of the story so we can come to the truth, which is right down the center. And that's very, very important. So subscribe, like, support, share. And if you could do at least 2 of those, I'm happy with that. Well, E3 has come and gone, and of course, it was one of the worst. And if you haven't caught my episode yet, giving a brief summary recap of some of the stuff on there, some of the good, some of the bad, some of the awful. One thing we did highlight was a company called CG Project Red, who's coming out with, looks like going to be a very good game. We know that basically the actor Keanu Reeves is part of the project. It's Cyberpunk 2077. And you kind of figure the way the game is built, there are words that where you could play the game and not kill anybody and still go through the entire game. It's a kind of a game that the choices you make is the direction you go in. And I like games like that where, that can determine the direction you go by what your actions are. And, I find that very interesting on there, and I'm glad that CG Project Red is doing this. But also, one thing, and, you have these little 1%ers that they just basically, we have to have this in the game and that in the game. And, it's okay having someone who's gay in the game or who's transgender. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you sort of use it as a political form, that's where the problem becomes. And someone like CD Projekt Red, what they did was they created a system because this is a cyberpunk universe. And basically people augment the way they look. So basically when you can character design a character, whereas from what I understand from people who were there and saw the game, you could have a transgender, you could have someone that, has certain parts, they could have partial, cybernetic parts, or basically gender changes and stuff like that. Hair, skin color, many different things. And you kind of figured they would be happy with that. Like I said, just when you thought it was safe to go back into Twitter. And, I have to laugh at this. Because as much as she has become just irrelevant to the whole gaming industry, just when you thought that she, you don't hear her, and this is the reason why I didn't even put her name in the title, because I just don't want to give her, her due, because she thinks she's gotten herself back into there. The name, Anita Sarkeesian. Oh, this girl has caused so much trouble in the gaming world. I mean, literally, she is just basically touched in the head. Because, she thinks, this is the way the gaming is supposed to be, and this is how it's, should be run, blah, blah, blah. So you know the story. The Gamergate, all this crap that she went out and raised, I think, what was it, $25,000 for a Discord server, which is like, wow. People gave her money to do a Discord server. I didn't even think you needed that much money on there. I've heard people create Discord servers for nothing, next to nothing. But people gave money to her and stuff like that. But you kind of figure you haven't heard anything from her in quite some time. No one has paid attention to her. Now she's interjecting herself into this. And she wants to be involved in consulting because how much the last game that she consulted on, how great it did. I'm joking on that. It was just an awful mess. But she had put out a tweet that I'm available for consulting because it sure sounds you might need it before the whole internet drags you for what sounds like a potential sexist representation. See, this is the problem. It's a game. It's a story. One of the things in the game, and I heard a couple people talk about it, is that there's a scene where there's a naked woman in a bath, and basically, I guess you as the main character have to rescue her, take her out, get her to the hospital, or something of that nature. I haven't gotten the whole deal, but people complain, oh, she's naked in the bathtub on there. That's not good, is all that. But, if it was a guy in the bathtub, I don't think there would be that many complaints, honestly. But you have to remember the story of Cyberpunk and the way it is. And people have been pushing this back. And I didn't even think of this until someone had mentioned it. If you've never seen the series Ghost in the Shell or the movie itself, I recommend not the Scarlett Johansson and not the Ghost in the Shell 2.0. Go back and find the original Ghost in the Shell movie. It is a great movie. It's fantastic. That's one of the best animes out there. There is a new series. In fact, there's a new series coming through Netflix. I don't know how good that's going to be, but still, it's still relevant to today. When you see something like Cyberpunk 2077, talk about how people have moved away from humanity into these augmentations and stuff like that. And you see this in Ghost in the Shell too, whereas you have people who have just literally don't have their human bodies anymore, and they've cybered their body, their essence, their soul, what they are, into machines. And then you have a few people that don't believe in that. I mean, there's one character on the show. He was a cop, and he was hired into Section 9 And there's a line in the movie, and I'm trying to remember the line, is that basically, why did I get chosen for this? It said, because you're still human. You have still those emotions that basically sometimes, the way we are, that we're cybernetic, that you still have, and the passion that you have for the job, that basically sometimes is missed in some of the cases that we deal with. And, that's, sometimes when you try to change what you are, you lose touch with what you used to be. And, and sometimes if you're trying to improve yourself, but you do it in a way that just basically takes away the pieces that what you are, what you used to be, it changes you drastically. And that's what in the cyberpunk universe, that's what it is. People have moved away from them, whether they used to be male and now they're female, or vice versa. But then now that you have this in here, this is some of the things that they're that small little 1%ers like Miss Sarkazian, that they want to see this. They're still complaining about it, and they say it's sexist and stuff like that. It's a story. It's a cyber future that basically, well, number one, it doesn't exist. Number two, it's just, a storyline that basically it's a what if situation, and there are many stories like this throughout. The gentleman who wrote this is fantastic. He's still writing, and he writes stories like this all the time. And it's the level of the changes that happen, that we as a society that we go through. When you hear people that they augment themselves through plastic surgery and stuff like that, they're no longer what they used to be. They try to, improving yourself shouldn't be, physically. It should be within the mind and the heart, and basically to be more understanding. And unfortunately, there are those in the gaming community that, like I said, they're not major gamers, and they just want to interject their politics into gaming. And this is why you have problems like in Bethesda and EA, of all these issues that have been going on. And I hope, here you have this girl, she's just trying to make herself relevant again in this whole situation, which basically nobody cares about her. She's gone from this whole debacle, with all the problems in gaming. She's trying to interject herself because nobody cares anymore. Nobody, they don't like her. She's been one of the major problems. Leave these guys alone and let them do the great programming, creating a great video game like hopefully Cyberpunk 2077 will be. So comment below. Tell me how you feel about this. Tell me that whether you like Anidia Sarkazian or not, and tell me why. Tell me if you're glad that she's not really that much interjected. Hopefully that she doesn't get involved in CD Projekt Red. Hopefully they don't listen to her and just say boop. Listen to the true people, the true customers that you want to get for this game to make you one of the most successful games of all time, because you have a great storyline from a great writer, and basically, you're building a great game that basically it already looks really, really good. I'm interested in it. It's hard to keep my interest, especially the way games have been going. Like I said, I haven't bought that many games recently. Red Dead Redemption is the last game I purchased. I've seen, once in a while I do play little demos to see how they are, and then I just click away from them. So, like I said, comment below, subscribe, like, support, share. We're on DLive. We are on BitChute as well. You could subscribe to us there. You could donate to us, support us on BitChute. Also, the links below too, as Streamlabs as well at teespring.com. Also, because it's very, very important that you basically support us and support every other YouTube creator there is out, whether you agree with them or not. You know, there are guys who put out, no matter who they are, him, her, there's some great shows out there, many great. And, you know, there's going to be a time we're going to start spotlighting on certain ones. If you go to the right of my page, you'll see some of them there. So check that out. Click on them. Give them some love. You know, subscribe to their channel. Like some of their videos. If you can, throw a couple bucks their way. Buy their t-shirts. Or give them a couple bucks so at least they can keep their shows going. Support them on Patreon if they're on Patreon. Give them something that they can work with. Because it costs money to make these shows. And I'm sounding like a PBS auctioneer. You know, they always say, like, support us because these shows may be gone tomorrow. And it's the truth. We may be gone tomorrow. So subscribe, like, support, share. We'll see you tomorrow, 5 p.m. So we'll see you then. Have a good one. Have a good evening.